Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled No Real Sun. The atmosphere is being illuminated from within. Now, figure 1 this shows this photograph which was taken on October 19th, 2018. And you can see a large spreading chemtrail cloud cutting diagonally across this image. You can see it there. Now this chemtrail cloud appears to be creating a shadow on a nearby cloud. There seems to be a shadow there. And so of course that cloud would have to be above the chemtrail cloud. So this is a close-up view of that portion of the sky. There's the chemtrail cloud. And there's the shadow of it. So it produces this thin, dark line right across this cloud. As you can see, it doesn't follow the other lines that you see in the cloud, which are always parallel because these are chemtrail clouds. This is diagonally across, just like this spreading chemtrail cloud there. So this would indicate that there is illumination causing this shadow to appear on that cloud, and the illumination has to be below cloud level. And also this cloud would be above this chemtrail cloud because the shadow would have to be above it, and so would the illumination. Now the sun simulator is to the right, as you can see here. There's the sun simulator there. And how do we know it's a sun simulator? Well, we can see it's hexagonal, almost hexagonal, but flattened, but hexagonal. It's white, and of course the real sun was never white. The real sun is yellow. The real sun is always perfectly circular. And then we have these blue beams coming, seemingly going through it. That's not normal. The real sun would never have blue beams running through it. And as you can see, there are the blue beams. It doesn't matter how you turn the camera, the blue beams are there. So they're a real effect. Now the sun simulator, as I said, is to the right of the chemtrail cloud. But if that is the source of the light, that would mean that the source is below the chemtrails. In other words, the sun simulator would have to be below the clouds. And this is an indication that the simulator is at low altitude, and it most likely is the product of some projection system. Since the image has three-dimensional qualities to it, this would indicate that the projection system is holographic. However, the source of the light, lasers, could be in orbit, but it would be transmitted to the right position in the atmosphere through a lensing and mirror system containing holographic components. You can see that these beams are not in a single plane. They are obviously in two different planes. So this is a three-dimensional system that we are looking at here. And so these photographs are also from October 19th, 2018, and the blue beams of light running through the sun remain in position no matter where the camera is positioned, showing that they are real effects. Now notice that the shape of the sun changes from here to there. You can see it's not the same. It seems more elliptical here than there, or more flattened. So this indicates that we are not even looking at a physical device of a certain shape, but most likely at a source produced by intersecting beams of light, most likely reflecting off a hexagonal shaped mirror or mirror array. You can see that the sun did not look as flattened there as it does here, and even more there. So this shows that this light source is actually changing. And it seems to actually have, the fact that it's changing indicates that it's most likely a reflection. So possibly light beams reflecting off a mirror array, and most likely hexagonal because we had that shape in the beginning, which was definitely hexagonal. And here, it still seems hexagonal. There's a point there, some straight lines. It's definitely not the real sun. But here's a device that at the time that the photograph was taken was obviously not in operation, but you can see that it's hexagonal and that it seems to be made up of an array of hexagonal mirrors. So this is most likely the type of device that is being used to produce these sun simulators, or at least it's part of the system that is producing them. Now, the real sun would be perfectly circular and yellow, not white, and there would never be blue beams seemingly coming out of it. The photograph below, which you can see here, was taken a few weeks back. At the time, there were thick white beams seemingly going through the sun. These beams are likely to be the result of laser beams being used to light up the atmosphere through a system of lenses and mirrors. And I wrote about that in article 359 entitled Sun Simulator in the Sky. So this is, it's actually a screenshot from a video taken by Scott Cioni from Planet X News, and it seemed to me to feature a new type of sun simulator, or sun in quotation marks. So notice how dark the sky seems to be. If this was the real sun, the real sun would illuminate the whole atmosphere from the top towards the bottom. But this light source is illuminating the atmosphere from below. It's close to the observer rather than illuminating the atmosphere from above. And if the sun was still there, was still illuminating the atmosphere, the sky would still be bright. We would have a sun simulator close to the observer, and the sky behind it would be extremely bright still because the sun would be illuminating it. The fact that it's not means that the sun is not illuminating the atmosphere, I mean the real sun. And this is also not the first time that chemtrails have developed shadows on clouds above them. And the photograph below was also taken by Scott Cioni in April of 2018. And you can see that this chemtrail is producing a shadow. Here's a shadow here, and here's another shadow there. Obviously, this cloud is at a lower altitude than this cloud, and it's closer to the chemtrail. There's the shadow there. There's the shadow there. And for more details, where I explain this in detail, you may look at article 214 entitled Global Sun Simulation System and the Dying Sun. But here, the sun actually seems to be behind clouds. The illumination that is causing this shadow effect is possibly even another source of light which we are not seeing, but it must definitely be below the chemtrail. So, but it's clear that the atmosphere is being illuminated from within, not from outside. Whether it is by the source or by another one, the only way you can produce shadows like this is if the atmosphere is being illuminated from below or from within. Now, in addition, if real sunlight was coming into the atmosphere from the real sun, that sunlight would overwhelm any simulator-produced light. The sky would be bright blue, close to where the sun would be positioned in the sky, and no chemtrail shadows would be possible. I think we have been without the real sun for so long that few people remember how overwhelmingly bright it was during the middle of the day. But at the same time, it felt on our skin, it felt gentle on our skin because it was above our atmosphere, and the ozone layer removed any UVC and most UVB radiation long before it reached the ground. So the fact that the sky looks so much darker than it did 20 years ago, and the fact that the sun is white instead of yellow and often hexagonal, indicates that the real sun has been replaced by a simulation of that sun. So we do not have a real sun in our skies anymore. If we did, our skies would still be bright blue, and they are not. So in conclusion, what may at first appear to be the sun in the sky is clearly not the real sun, but a simulation of the real sun. In addition, chemtrail shadows clearly indicate that the Earth's atmosphere is being illuminated from within, not from outside, by the real sun. Those are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.